Moya Light, Moya Bright were out at Forest Lodge in Magaliesburg. There's a black woman-owned business. Lebogang, Dumela, please can you introduce yourself and tell us what you do?
Dumelang Togai, Sanbonani, Absheli, Tawazani. I'm Lebogang Ntina Miso, and I am working at Forest Lodge. Yes, Osintigi said I owned it, but I feel more like I work here because I really just have a space that allows for people to reconnect with nature, reconnect with themselves, reconnect with some histories, traditions, and heritage, and leave here feeling light. Yes, leave here feeling like kunomoya vele obangene yabo and heal them. So that's what I do.
So what's the name of your lodge and what do you actually do there?
Okay, so the name of the space that we're currently in is Forest Lodge, The Retreat. And the suffix of this, the retreat, is actually what happened here. People escape the busy schedules of Johannesburg, they escape the daily corporate 9 to 5 and stresses, and come here to escape, to really just have a holistic wellness experience where we heal you on the inside and the outside using nature, using herbs, using traditional methods of actually healing and reconnecting with yourself. Basically, it's a cleanse.
What's so unique about yours?
So, unique about mine. Yeah, thanks for that question. But I think maybe unique, maybe the journey of the whole story of how the space began might be the unique aspect of it. But what we basically do here is we work with traditional healers. We work with water. We have the Magaliesburg River flowing here, and as you know, water is a very spiritual and powerful element for healing. We also work with different herbs, one of them being cannabis, which is quite a very hot topic of the moment. Maybe this is the unique bit of it. But we basically work with ancient traditions combined with the modern sciences and modern wellness practices. So maybe that's what's unique, bringing in the old and the new and combining them to have a holistic approach to actual wellness.
So today's episode, we were going to basically unpack traditional medicine and more specifically in Zang and how it's been misunderstood. But before we even get there, huge contentious issue. You've got this beautiful land. I actually just want to show everybody. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful land here. And how did you get the land, girl?
Yeah, thank you. I was quite as shook as you are, actually, myself. But this land was given to me. It was actually given to me by my ancestors. Abanting Hambana Babadala. Amakos, they gave it to me for a reason. And this is part of the journey, my own spiritual journey, actually, because I've just not recently, but I have been uncovering what my purpose is on earth. You know, we have this question of who am I? Where am I going? Where am I coming from? And my journey of uncovering just that actually entailed me having this space so that I could do the work which they entailed for me to do, which is to be a custodian of history, custodian of tradition, custodian of heritage, of African heritage, and like our spiritual traditions, ceremonies, etc. So they gave me this space because I stumbled upon it by accident, mind you. And I knew this was the one that I had to get. So when I spoke to my traditional guide, she told me like, they gave you a very nice place. And she had never been here. And I'm like, what do you mean? It doesn't make sense. Like, make it make sense, you know? And as time went on, then I found out what I needed to do with this space and why I actually got it. And what I needed to do was to share with people who have lost maybe the memories of traditions and heritage, or people who want to dive deeper into understanding our traditional ways of being, our customs, you know, and people who actually wanted to learn. So that's how I stumbled across this space. That's why it was given to me, because I need to preserve it and share it and spread the healing properties and the goodness the place has.
When you say like it was given to you, your purpose, how do you know all of this, or how did you connect the dots?
Yep, very good question. So you know we dream, right? Or we have that thing that they call gut feeling. For me and for many others, which is true for my own reality, the dreams and the gut feeling are actually my ancestors communicating with me. I mean, we must understand that ancestors are not people who you can have a conversation as you and I are right now, but they have passed on and they are now in the spiritual realm. So they have to find ways in which they can communicate with you. And one of those ways are having dreams or having visions or having this strong feeling. And so this is how I knew what I'm supposed to be doing, because I'd have a dream, I'd like literally wake up and write it down, and sometimes I would be able to say, this is what I need to do. Oh, melenyo, hlabing kuku, Thanksgiving, vulindlela, whatever. But some of the dreams were a bit too complex, and this is why then I too myself have my spiritual guide who will then help me sort of dissect what it means. And you know, when you have that moment where you're like, I know this is it. That moment is the actual them saying, okay, now you hear us, you know. And a funny thing is, every time I speak to my traditional guide, she'd say to me, yeah, now you've graduated, you know, like I see you have graduated in life. I can see it as a celebration. I'm like, graduated in what? And I'm not going back there, you know. So graduated what? But then it clicked what she meant. The lessons that I had meant to learn in order to fulfill the work that they had wanted me to had been then successful. I understood, I got the lesson, and I implemented exactly what was needed of me. So,
It's incredible.
yeah.
So then, what's the journey? You start having these dreams, and then you start looking for this land, and then what happens?
So, you know, I come from Joburg, no? And I was like, "Kwele yonke indawo, kumnandi eJoburg." You know, fast life yakho
So it's a
Joburg.
girl.
Hey, katsamalwena. And then now life is at Joburg. I was there, but one day I literally woke up and I was sort of the black sheep amongst all the sheep that were around me. This included my family, my friends. Just woke up and said, I need to go live in the countryside. My mom was like, Nkosi yamna kusigayahlanya umntanami, what is happening? My friends were like, how Chomi manje Brandstini Santoni, you know what we aspire to, coming from Soweto, coming from the south or whatever the case may be, we want to move to the burbs. But I was going against the grain. Like something told me, no, you're not going to go to the burbs. You're going to end up in the farmlands. So I started looking in Magaliesburg, in Chartwell, you know, like even as far as Northwest, I looked at spaces. And it was during COVID actually where I actually found this space. And I had been searching for about 2 years before, but couldn't find something that, you know, felt right to say, this is where I need to end up. And when I found this place, believe it or not, like 2 months later, it was locked down. And that is where I was stuck in a place that I had just gotten into, and I had to literally like immerse myself in this space. And that is how I learned about the place and I learned about myself, because there's nothing more profound than being stuck in a place and you can't go anywhere. So I was stuck here for a few months and I just arrived.
Who were you stuck here with?
I was stuck with my husband. So my husband is a farmer. Katlego Meso. He does commercial vegetable farming. He's a black farmer. Nami, when he started the farming thing, I thought, Maranko Siamini, why can't you do the normal things that other people are doing? Like, you know, and I didn't understand it, but I think he's quite an older soul, and he understands the importance of like food security, of knowing and understanding the land and the environment that you're in. So he had started actually way before, and he has a farm in Talton where he farms his vegetable produce, etc. So I was stuck here with him, and while we were stuck here together, we kind of produced a human being, our daughter, and so we were stuck with her as well at the end. At the end, so but it was a beautiful experience.
And
So
then what do you, because you now found this land, from what you said earlier before went live, is that you just found a mass of like jungle here.
yeah, yeah.
So,
Yeah, definitely. So we found just the structure where we're sitting now. It's like the balcony and the house itself. But everything within the 1 hectare of space was just jungle or just grass or veld or bush. And we've had to create paths, so we can actually get to the other side of the property. Otherwise, we used to fight spiders. Sometimes I would be afraid, everything that creeps, right? But we really worked on it. We started off by, we wanted to focus on, and I'm so happy that my husband is who he is, because whatever I was told I needed to do, he actually got it. It was just like, yeah, of course, it makes sense. So we first started with obviously securing the inside so it's comfortable for us to actually be in the space the whole day or every day. And then we went then with the off-grid system, because we are strong believers of sustainability and like not taking too much from Mother Earth, because she already gives so much. So we then harnessed the power of the sun. So we are totally off grid. It's not as easy as it sounds, guys. Sometimes there's no sun. Ne? We have to go back to our roots. Because you can't switch on geysers. It's like, energy draining. And once we were done with then setting up, being comfortable in the space, we started working on the outside. Creating the paths, creating the boma, which is like where we sit and sort of meditate, reflect by fire, and coming together as a community like Imbawla. Back in the days, besihlala kwimbawla siwothamela umlilo, and it was like bonding sessions. So we did that, and then also a sauna. I was told we needed a sauna for Ukufutha. It's a sauna. I'm steaming. No, siyafutha lapha. We are keeping the toxins, skipama toxins. So we worked on that, and then we also worked on the hot tub.
please go more into that, Ukufutha.
Ukufutha. So steaming I'll start it off in like the English terminology, right? And sorry about that, but I studied in English, but I'm preserving also my tradition and linking both of them. So steaming, you drink a lot of water and it takes out the toxins in your body through the sweat, right? And some traditions like the Red Indians or in South America actually have sweat huts where you would go into like literally a sweat hut, like that is super hot, and that is where you go into a trance, and that trance is then like the bridge between reality and the spiritual realm. I've actually been in a sweat hut. It was once in a lifetime. I've never done it again. I've tried it once, but never again. But so ngesintu, like mo gula or mo petwe something, begelimbiza, telama herbs, akavarisha ngengugu, and then you sweat out either the cold or the toxins or whatever the case may be. That is ugufutha, to take out within that is not meant to be and bring it out through the pores, because the skin is a breathing living organism, so you sweat out. So that's what steaming and ugufutha is. But because we are a traditional modern place, we cater for everybody. You want to come sauna and steam, come through. Ufuna ukuzofutha uphahle and connect, come through, so that is what our hut does.
I disturbed you. Okay, so you're taking the sauna
and the hot tub. And the next project that we're working on, actually, because a lot of people who come here, because there's so much peace, they never want to leave, like literally. So the next phase is to work on our glamping, so people can stay overnight or stay as long as they need to fulfill their journeys and to actually find what they are looking for within and without, in terms of the natural surroundings that they're in.
How long have you, because you said that you've been working on it for a few years, so are you open to the public yet?
Yes, so we've been open to the public from December. It's just a pity that every day has been raining, right? But people, some are brave enough to come in the rain because of their situations, maybe it's urgent. Like, I need to ngiyokhuluma emanzini, ngiyophahla emanzini, I need to ngizofutha, ngikhiphe whatever toxins that I have, and they'll come in the rain and we welcome them as well. But we're literally about a month old. After years of preparation, we are finally here. We've arrived.
You keep referring to water a lot. Can you now unpack water for us?
Sisinti, water is a very powerful spiritual element. We know that, right? Like water gives life. Without water, we have nothing. Think about it. It grows the food that we eat. It provides life to the trees. It provides life to you. Like Earth is made about, I think, more than 70% of water.
Even us?
Yeah, our own bodies are made. So water is so profound, and especially moving water. There's this saying that moving water carries the whispers of the ancestors. And this is why you'll find a lot of times umuntu makayophahla or needs a cleansing, they will need to find a body of moving water where they can go then and pray, go and meditate. And water is so calming as well. So I'm very thankful that I was given actually a place with water.
Yo.
Yeah.
They even say that water stores information.
Yeah. Those whispers, if you sit long enough, you will hear them. So I shared a story earlier, but for me, that was the moment. I mean, I've always known that water is very powerful, and every time I go to the ocean, it will take me maybe a day or two before I'm comfortable enough to swim, because I have this fear. You hear
Yes.
people's experiences where they literally get lost in the water, and we need to not panic, but just wait for them to come out, or whatever journey they need to go to. So I'm afraid of water, but once I get comfortable enough, I'll go in and I'll swim, right? So one incident that happened recently now in January was one of the guests came and she had like a spiritual session as well with the guides that we work with here. And she went to the water and they prayed, and the whispers of the water literally whispered to her. She was not okay. She was not okay in the moment because she was shook at what is happening. She's hot, she's cold, she needs to sit down, she needs to stand up. She's but that was her ancestors saying, Sisi, kudala sithi sikhuluma nawe usizwa. Right, sesikubambile manje, you are in water. And from that moment on, she literally embraced that she's gifted in that way, that she needs to actually listen to what they are telling her. She needs to act, So that for me was just profound. It was amazing.
What do you think of because you grew up in Joburg, you went to these Mlungu schools, very modern, the intersection between supernatural and reality with us?
So I've always been a little bit different, a little bit of a weirdo, if you want to call it that much. But now to find out it's not actually being a weirdo, but it's actually being able to realize that we are not alone, sis. Like, we are not alone. I mean, siyahamba, we go siyo tandaza at our people that have passed on their graveyards. We go, we pray, we see them. They are still there with us in terms of spiritually, So for me, it started actually a while ago, and I couldn't explain it. But this is where I guess then I kind of should have known that when I yell, awufani, uthanda izinto, hamba electricity workshop, mara ngapha udlala ngama-tarot card, ngapha uhamba ngama-crystal, like busy girl, I should have known then that let me listen a bit more, there's more to us than just us. Like, there's literally more to us than just us.
So then when do you get to the discovering the cannabis healing? Because that's what the base of your space is about.
Yeah. So I'm going to tell you a little funny story, right? I was I was in varsity, so I went to University of Pretoria, Tukkies, and I was a spickle in the residents. But anyway, I tried out cannabis with some of my friends, but it wasn't legal. It's still illegal to sell it, but it's been recognized now that people can use it for their own like private use, right? So laws are easing up a little bit to allow people to explore and experiment. And I tried this thing out. I swear to God, first time I tried it out, my mom somehow smelt it or something, and she literally took me to like a retreat for a month. Like, yo, ngwanaka, hey, utuba matekwane, hey, giafiwa. You know, fast forward like much later, now that we understand that there's a science behind it, you know, even countries countries all over the world are starting to legalize it or accept it or open up a little bit. For example, in our own country, people such as myself are being given permits and licenses to actually, you know, handle and deal and trade and use marijuana or cannabis in their business or whatever the case may be. So that also shows in terms of responsibility, you know. So fast forward a few years later, I'm working on different products in terms of topical products, edible, ingestible products using cannabis, and there's a wide array of it, right? There's psychoactive, there's non-psychoactive, there's high THC, there's less THC, there's high CBD, there's low CBD. So it's quite a lot that's happening in the cannabis, and it's still being studied, right?
So it's not just one. There's a variation
Yeah.
of the marijuana plant, is what you're saying.
Yes, thousands. We know a few. And I think sometimes I feel like maybe this is why it hasn't been like, okay, legal, do anything you want. They still need to study it, you know. Researchers still need to dig a little bit deeper in it. And just to finish off that little story, no worries. My mom, I introduced her to gummies, which I've made myself using cannabis. So she sometimes has insomnia and she doesn't sleep. But my mom will never smoke marijuana because it's like, no ways, you know. So I give her a gummy and she's like, and then what is this? Niti, it's cannabis. Lebogang. Niti, okay, listen. Here is the Journal of American Medical Association. I get it, she's a lawyer. She wants to read articles. Look at what they're saying. It is potential benefits of what? Depression, of what? Sleep therapy, of what? Pain management. Awuphathwanga sometimes izandla zibabuhlungu. Okay, tatale, try it. Angichaba naye funda nale article and then try this medicine. Also try the gummies. Bone. I mean, yes, they say that they need to have more research and studies into it for in-depth knowledge, but the results are here. It has the potential benefits. So let's just try. Angeke basilahlekise phela, a whole journal, American Medical. Come on. She tries the gummy before she goes to bed. She wakes up and says, the best sleep I've ever had. The best sleep. Le cream in monate, my hands. What happened? I'm like, yeah, because now read the British Medical Journal. Bare mona go na le di-cannabinoids that act with what? The endocannabinoidal system. Lebogang, no, here, read. And what that does is literally cannabis has the benefits of inflammation, pain management, you know, insomnia, depression. Yes, they still need to study it, but the results are there. And this is why they're interested in digging a little bit deeper. You know, there's much more to cannabis than just being that drug that we
Getting
smoke
stoned.
and get high. No, my mom doesn't get high. No, but she sleeps better and because of cannabis. So there's many ways you can use cannabis. You don't just smoke it and get high. You can eat it and feel calm. You can eat it and sleep better. You can drink it in tea and don't be anxious. If you don't believe me, guys, go to BMJ and JMA and read for yourself. They said it. No, not me. I'm not a doctor, by the way, so I'm not by any means saying go out there and try. No, speak to your doctor first. But what I'm saying is empower yourself with the knowledge that is there. You know, there is knowledge out there. And this space is, that's exactly what we do. We educate the people behind the science of marijuana. We are custodians of heritage and traditions, and we bring that all together because we just had, not just in 2018, the private bill use was signed. President Cyril Ramaphosa also then signed in terms of like the possession limitations, etc., that people can use cannabis in their own private space. So it's like a gateway has been opened, How? Sesingaba nensango, sengatshali intsango ngiyoyitshala. So we're like, okay, tshala intsango yakho, but let's teach you about where it comes from. Let's teach you about the science behind it. Let's teach you about the responsible way you can use it and why you should use it. So that's exactly what we do here. Maybe that is the unique selling point of this place.
That's why I asked you in the beginning.
I know, I did.
I saw it flew off your head.
It didn't click now as I'm getting it to this, like, oh, okay.
That's what I was asking. Good.
Yeah, like, okay, yeah, that's, yeah.
Do you think that ganja should be used for recreational purposes, or do you think it's just a medicine? Do you also think that when it comes to like mental health issues, sometimes you'll find someone who actually had pre-existing mental issues, and then they say it was ganja that made them crazy. So what are your thoughts?
Okay, so I'm going to start with the recreational use. Guys, it's batala. If you're over 18, umtala, if you want to try it out because you have the legal right to do it in your own personal private space without obviously being in the face of other people, do it if that's what you want to do, and what we do here is we are a private retreat, so we offer people the space to do it in private, but in an environment where we understand what the effects of cannabis is, so they can definitely come here, smoke it, eat it, whatever they want to do with it, but we'll educate them on what to expect, and if maybe they have a state of paranoia, what not to do or how to calm them down. So we just want to educate them. So if you want to try it for recreation, do it. Umdala. Bathe singayikhulisa, singayitshala, do it. Abokhokho bethu dala bayenza for like traditional ceremonies, for meditation, for getting into a trance so they can communicate with the spiritual world. They've been doing it. So if you feel like you want to, go ahead. And then when it comes to then people who've had pre-existing conditions, I would highly really suggest that you go to your healthcare practitioner, such as your doctor. Speak to them about you are curious about trying, what are the effects, because doctors themselves are the very people who read those journals that I spoke about before, and coupling it with what they have studied for 7 years and the work that they do, they will be able to then advise you accordingly to say, okay, when you're bipolar, maybe you should try this medication in conjunction with this, or maybe you should not do this and do that. So they would know how to combine the results and the benefits plus your condition. So I can't give you that kind of advice. You would need to go to a doctor for that. But if you're okay and you want to try it, I've tried it, and I've even reminded my mom to say, "Ya kumbola wena wangisa lapaya. Look at me. I'm eating a gummy now." she looks at me and laughs and says, "Can you?" So yeah,
So it really is about misunderstanding of this herb.
Definitely. Ntigi, I don't know if, okay, you're Xhosa, right? There's this ancient pictures of Habu Mama Batgoge,
Yeah.
and they have those long pipes. What's in the pipe?
Yep. I'm Xhosa. I know what's in the pipe.
Exactly. What's in the pipe? And those ladies, are they not? Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Are they not the custodians and passing down tradition and wisdom, ancient secrets? Are they not the one to hold? So this thing has always been there. But I think the stigma came when we didn't understand it. And what's making me very excited and happy right now is we're starting to study it. We're starting to see its value. We're starting to say, okay, maybe it's not so bad. Let's let the people do it. And then the research centers, the doctors, those people say, okay, let's study it, because mind you, we've told people they can plant it. So why are they planting it? So I'm very happy. What's happening right now in these day and ages, it's so important. It's very important.
It's interesting because ganja comes from the earth, but then it's got the image of being a drug.
Yeah. Um, Cocoa beans come from the earth. Opioids come from the
But
earth.
cocoa beans are processed.
Yeah,
Ganja doesn't get
yeah,
processed. Is the
yeah,
difference.
yeah, and true. But I understand what you're saying. But some people won't understand it in that way, because as a president or as a government or as Ronald Reagan, who actually started this thing way back then when he was trying to ban Mexicans from entering America with like marijuana, which it grew freely and they saw nothing wrong with them, and introducing it into America because they didn't understand it, because they had the shock of, no, there are opioids that they are growing and it becomes opium. Or no, there's like cocaine that they are growing coming from cocoa beans. It all comes from fear if you don't understand it. And me, what I wished had happened way back then is what's happening now. Study the thing, study it, you know. I mean, there are lots of plants that come out of the ground which are poisonous, but we don't know that up until we study them. So I'm happy now that we are at the point where we're studying cannabis like we're studying it.
Are there any bad, like the bad side of of ganja?
So, of course, there is, in my own personal experience, as I said, the research is still ongoing. There are some limitations to maybe what the drug can do according to the BMJ. But from my own experience, the negative side of cannabis that I've looked at in the various cannabis strains or sativa strains, indica strains, etc. Dry mouth, red eyes, hunger, like feeling fatigued and just like not wanting to move, but you're in a meditative state. And for me, yes, it's negative because some people could get lost in that and lose focus and forget, yo, milling your yenza, yo, milling fundi, yo, milling. That's the negative spin off, which is why you need to be responsible. And I really don't recommend it for children under 18 because, they're still developing, they still need to learn, they still need to find themselves. Over 18, so mdala, ukwazi ekhaya after midnight, uqedile esikolweni, the basic education that you need, your matric certificate, you have it, but it can get to a point where you have too much of it,
Yeah.
I say,
Yeah.
where it's like, I just want to have it every day. And then every day I'm hungry. Man, just saying, "Nusi grocery," I say, "Kaya." So for me, those are, but those negatives, if you think about them, sis, they're not as bad as negatives of like being
Alcohol.
psychotic,
Oh,
or
okay.
yeah, or alcohol, or you're chasing moto. The most you can do is really red eyes, dry lips, dry mouth, hunger, fatigue. So, but yeah, I think that's a bit of the, if you have too much of it, because
Yeah.
the benefits that were highlighted in terms of it has the potential to calm you, depression and
Yes.
anxiety, or like insomnia. That's what it's meant to do. But if you have too much of it, it's like me having too much coffee. I know the side effect of coffee is to up my energy levels. Now, if I have too much of it, I'm going to be bouncing off the walls. So everything has its balance. Yeah. But
I wonder what too much is.
I also wonder, but I've seen, so maybe just using my own personal story. A few days ago, I created a new tincture, yabo, with high CBD content, like really high. Just I wanted to experiment and see. And then angithi bathe singayikhulisa bathi mina ngithanda ukuyibhema, so let me do something with it. I gave my brother a drop. So making tincture is actually a long process. It takes about 2 months to make it.
Oh, wow.
So finally, 2 months later, the tincture is
Do you
ready.
mix it with alcohol, the tincture?
I have alcohol based and I have oil based.
Okay.
Yeah, because some people take alcohol and some people don't take
Yeah.
alcohol. So, and I use MCT oil for the oil based one. So I give my brother like a drop, yeah. And then he says, tastes better than the last one. I like it. Okay, cool. Can have a bit more. Okay, I give him a something. So he takes another drop. Then we watch a movie. Then I'm like, I actually feel like going outside to look at the stars because in the countryside the stars are quite
Beautiful.
yeah, they're very visible. I'm like, dude, come with me. Let's go watch stars, please do. I don't want to go by myself. and he's sitting like this, and he says, "Do you see me?" I'm like, He's like, "I can't move." So that's too much of it. That's too much of it. That's too much. Yeah.
I can't move.
Yeah, I can't move.
And that can happen, it's so easy to like wake up to a joint every day and then just chill
Yeah.
the whole day. And I think that's where the danger is
Yeah.
that you need to actually have something that you do, your job or whatever,
Yeah.
that balances that. Because a lot of us, unemployment is high right
Yeah.
now. So it's easy for you to fall into that.
Yeah. So I think it also has to do with us as people. So we're also noticing our blame is using to guys because we have addictive personalities self. Uzotoli acha ene garlic, you just tried it like me. Currently I'm addicted to acha and garlic. It's like I tried it for the first time 2 weeks ago. Every day kija acha and garlic. That time I was never a big acha person. But we have that addictive personality. So ungasukeli cannabis yabantu uthi yeah me every day I'm addicted. No, it's you. You're the problem. Some people can have it one time and they can just okay fine I'm good and keep it moving and go do what they need to do. And then those who have then maybe the addictive personality for that particular substance or that particular whatever it is, then would use that vice and then don't blame it on yeah. If it's not like in Nyaupe, guys, that is chemicals mixed. That is made to make you want it and cannot function without it. This grows out of the ground like a tomato, like a cucumber. I'm not addicted to cucumbers, but I'm addicted to mangoes, But it's an addictive personality.
Right.
Yeah, yeah.
It's so interesting. Also, another point we need to make is that ganja is psychologically addictive, but it's not addictive. So there's a boredom that you get when you're just like, okay, what should I do when you're used to smoking, but then now you're quitting. But it's not that. Oh, am I wrong? Do people go through proper withdrawals and?
I can't really answer that, and I'll tell you why. I haven't personally experienced it myself, right? I mean, I've smoked it, sure, but then I'd prefer to eat it because the smoking bit is not. I've had a gummy like every second day when I'm stressed and have to chase deadlines, but then when the deadlines are done or when I feel like I've got everything under control, I'm able to just stop eating gummies. I've been bored sometimes. Say, let me take a gummy and go sit in the river and try to listen to myself. And I've had the best meditation ever. But at the same time, I've been bored and decided, let me go take a walk because I'm so bored. Or let me read a book. Or let me watch a movie. Or let me cook. Let me bake. And I think maybe the point is we have hobbies, we have things that we can do when we're bored. To substitute then blaming it on cannabis and say I was bored so I smoke cannabis. Again, I'd be cannabis lab good when you're bored. If you're bored, you can do other things, So I don't know if you understand. You can do other things, but you as the person, you make the decision that I want it. And the thing that I don't like is people blaming the decisions that they make on something that has got nothing to do with the decision that they made. You know what I mean? So this is also what makes the stigma around cannabis so much, because people will be like, yeah, I'm addicted to cannabis. Like, I went, stop smoking. I'm unemployed, so I smoke too much. If you don't have, or if you don't have, like, stop blaming your choices. Just own up to them, be responsible. And I think that's what we try to do here as well. We have people who are professional people, we have doctors who've been here, we have all kinds of people, like, unemployed, employed, whatever. And we teach them about, like, you can take this thing, but please don't blame whatever situation or circumstance or the actual root cause of whatever problem you have on this, because then we'll never get it right. We'll never fully understand it. And I think for me, why I'm so impressed and happy about the medical research that's happening behind cannabis is because I come from a medical background, not as a doctor, but in terms of the pharmaceutical space where we sell drugs, right? So there they literally take people and have like clinical trials. And a clinical trial is something where you give someone your medicine that you have created for like a long period of time to see what effects there are before you give it to people. You know what I mean? So it's like a clinical trial. So this is what's happening with cannabis. And I bet you, once they're done with all those additional and further researches to conclude on what findings they have, bazobona ukuthi we can't say it's addictive, it killed me, and and. So this is why I'm excited, and I can't wait for those, trials to actually conclude and kickstart, like so we can debunk the myth. Like myth, let's debunk it. Ntango ayihlanyisi, maybe you have a pre-existing condition and then mixed together with that create something else, which is why I said earlier, go see your doctor before you try it if you're not okay. And also, if you are bored and you smoke it all the time, some people eat all the time. Like, but are we gonna say I'm addicted to chocolate? Yeah, you could be actually. So yeah, I'm just passionate. Sorry. Yeah.
When you look at your retreat center here,
Yeah.
oh my gosh, and I'm so excited for the hot tub. I'm seeing the fire and the smoke behind you there. You obviously not looking at, because in Tango they love to equate it to like Echwaleni. They make it seem like it's on the same level. So
Yeah.
when you made the space, please can you unpack it for us so that do you want this? Do you want the young people to come with their hubblies here and the
No. Look, I have nothing against young people, right? But people who can come here have to be over 18. And this is because we do have like cannabis awareness, cannabis education. We do have some cannabis on the property itself. It's private. And we educate you with the actual flower, with the products that we make from the cannabis. So this is why we can only have over 18s here. Habli for me is going against what we stand for. Cannabis is one aspect of what we do. Siyafuta. We do blood circulation. We have ice baths, hot tub. And then if you look at the medical benefits of those, which are also in numerous journals, is like blood flow, blood circulation, and some other properties or benefits, right? We have massages. This is for like soothing sore muscles, tension. So it's one aspect of it. Habli does not stand for that because that takes smoke, which is not natural, which is made of juices and molasses and flavors and other things, and you put them in your chest, and then it defies the whole wellness approach that we're going for here. Sizokulapha. We want you to get well. If you are depressed, we want you to get well. If you are maybe have insomnia, sore muscles, tension, right? We want to heal you, So Habli, unfortunately, no, it's not allowed. Look, we are not opposed to having alcohol on the premises. Some of the events, people bring alcohol. Sometimes we might have a bottle of bubbles or not, but that's fermented grapes. And if you're a responsible adult, now you know when one or two is enough for you, or whatever the case may be, we don't mind that. But we're not a 626 last man standing. No thanks. We're not about that. The only wellaring pansy is you coming from the sauna and feeling, I can't move because I'm so at peace with my body, with my everything. I'm just relaxed. I can't. I'm in my gown. I don't want, and that's the only, vibes that we want here.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
And now we're wrapping up and going back to the center and what it stands for and what people should expect when they come here.
Yeah.
And yeah, just to.
Yeah. So, for me, if you could leave this place feeling better about whatever you came here trying to find, that makes us happy. We've achieved our goal. You don't have to necessarily have the whole package. Maybe you just want to go and pray by the river or meditate. come through. We allow that. Come through. Come meditate by the river. Come listen to those whispers. If you get the answer that you're looking for, then we have achieved our goal. If you come and you have a sore muscle and you want the best massage, we've got really great massage masseuse here. And you get that and you leave here feeling like, yo, my hike yesterday killed me, or like my gymming, whatever, we've achieved our goal. If you come here feeling enlightened and educated to good hell, cannabis is not so bad, Moose. It's actually this and that, we've achieved our goal. You know, so we're all about raising awareness, we're all about educating, we're all about letting you connect with nature and leave here feeling a little bit lighter, a little bit happier, a little bit calmer, because every day can get a lot. Guys, we are moms, we are daughters, we are sisters, we are wives, we are employees, we are this, we are you know. So if you can leave here feeling like, whew, I got that break, that escape that I needed, and I feel better, I feel light, I can take on another week, another month, I'm ready, I've arrived, then we've achieved our goal. Yeah.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
And congratulations once again.
Yeah, thank you.
Beautiful, beautiful space.
Thank you. Thank
Thank
you very
you.
much. Thank you for having me on your show. I've always watched your shows. I'm like, yo, Batung is so deep. Oh my God. And now I'm here. I'm like, oh my God, I can't believe it. Am I that deep now? Oh Lord. This is so amazing. This is so amazing. I'm finally here. Okay, if you could see my insides, they don't correlate to how I look now. Pagati.
It's a rainbow.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, but thank you so much. Yeah.
Bless you.
Thank you.
Damak.
Who are you when all you were has been diluted by lies and white lines cancelling out all that which has been written of your history? Why do you look at yourself as a mystery? Doesn't the sun shine because you open your eyes? Doesn't the moon stay situated within the same stars your DNA sparkles off? Your spirit knows that surely corner into it off. Buza umoya so you may return to being well off. Because spiritually you are rich, yet your ancestors cry because you are out of reach. But yours is to command all elements while God takes inspiration from the very mirror she looked at to become. Remember who you are and never finish just when they think that with you they are done.